Welcome to the RIS Innovation Call Final Pitch Competition. Welcome both the attendees here physically and everybody following us online. As I already mentioned, for those of you who've been here, the pitch competitions and the award ceremony will be streamed. You can find the detailed agenda of our events both online on the website and through the app that you can download. Let's get started with a warm welcome on stage for Sarah Haddadin, RIS Innovation Lead, EIT Health, InnoStars. Welcome to the stage.
So welcome everyone again. Thank you for joining us today. It's such a pleasure. And allow me to extend a special thank you to our esteemed jury members. Thank you for your support. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for the RIS Innovation Call teams. Thank you for flying all the way to join us today. I really appreciate that. The RIS Innovation Call program supported the teams through their journey to develop and complete their proof of concept. EIT Health have supported them financially, and it offered different services such as mentoring, boot camping, networking opportunities. So I always tell you, this is only the beginning. EIT Health will always support you. Always keep your eye on the different opportunities we offer, and good luck for today.
Thank you. And to give you some information about the rules of this competition, rules are very important, right? We will have 9 finalists in 3 categories: medtech, biotech, and digital health. The rules are strict. Each pitch is 3 minutes long. And if for some reason someone goes over time, I will very kindly ask them to stop. This is just so that we ensure that everybody has equal opportunities, so don't be offended. The safest thing to do is finish before the time is up. Then there will be a 5-minute Q&A from our esteemed jury, who will be sitting here in the first row right next to me. And they are Dora Marosvölgyi, Dare Innovations, Soraya Catano, Sustainable Ventures, and Chiara Caucino, Piemonte Healthcare Cluster. But dear audience, you also have your say, because we have the InnoStars Community Award, where you can vote on one startup, your favorite startup or your favorite pitch. And that's important to keep in mind, because you have to choose wisely. Once you voted, you cannot change your vote. Voting is open from noon today, and it will close at 6 tomorrow. So be sure to vote, but also be sure that you think it through properly, because your vote has a weight. The mic and the clicker will be there on that stand. So for all the people who will pitch, please make sure you take the mic and the clicker, and please also make sure you put it back once you leave the stage. That is what's most important. This is what needs to be known. And with that, let's start with our first pitch, which is Bactometer, presented by Diego Catano from Portugal, MedTech. Welcome to the stage.
Good morning. Okay, I would like to start with kind of an uncomfortable question. If you knew that every single day, 12 planes filled with people, pregnant women, newborn babies, elder people, everyone fell to the ground and all the 4,000 passengers died, would you do anything about it? Would you at least not go to an airport? Well, probably there'll be talks on the streets saying, stop this madness, right? This is what happens every single day in hospitals throughout the world. For 35,000 people in Europe, 1.27 million people around the world die because of resistant bacteria. And this happens because even though we know that there are people of risk coming into the hospitals, we don't do anything about it. We just put them in the same place as everyone else, and then they spread the bacteria. And then we give antibiotics that even make the problem worse. This is a 1.1 billion problem in the world. And the solution is quite simple, just test people. And that is our solution. Back-to-meter tests in less than an hour the person that gets into the hospital, and then you quickly know if they are infected with the resistant bacteria or not. The principle is relatively simple. We get a swab like the COVID test, we destroy the bacteria, we analyze the RNA content, and we determine if it's resistant and what resistance it provides. So the product is a device that in 60 minutes gives you a result. It's portable, can be done, the test can be done anywhere, by the bedside or by the entrance. It has a patented algorithm based on machine learning, and the workflow is simple so that anyone can do it. Of course, there's a large market, there's money to be made, money to be saved, but most importantly, there are people, lives to be spared. Our business model will be relatively simple, so we do R&D, and the fabrication of the device is done elsewhere, and we get just money from the use of the tests. This is where we are. We need about 5 to 10 million euros to actually reach the market. We already have developed the proof of concept with the help of EIT and other financing instruments, and we need a little more to reach the MVP. This is a team of researchers. There's, of course, a larger team of consultants, medical doctors that are behind us to help us in determining the best outcomes and how we can make more impact. We already have 20 years of combined experience in biosensing development. But most importantly, our desire is to help prevent the next pandemic. And so I ask you, please help us.
Jury members, the stage is yours.
Hello, thank you. What I want to know is what is your target customer? So who do you think to sell your product?
So our product would be for screening initially, either of people or surfaces, but the target is for people. So the client would be an hospital or a clinic or a long stay home where elderly people are for a longer period. And initially it would be hospitals because that's where the biggest impact is and where the people that can actually do the tests easier are present. Particularly in ICU, so in intensive care units and urgent care. So when people just have around 6 hours to get the results from the test before they go into the infirmary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And let me say congratulations for the very powerful start of the presentation. You got me hold in the beginning. My question would be, what is your pricing strategy? So how much would it cost per test?
So we want to be cheaper than, well, more cost effective than what exists. The cost of our test for us, for now, is around €5. So if you add transportation and then getting some margin on top, the test will end up between 20 and 30 euros, which is around 3 times less expensive than the competitors, which would be PCR or something like that, and around the same price of a culture, which although it's just 2 or 5 euros, it needs a technician, it needs time, so in the end it ends up being around 20 to 30 euros. So that's our target price so that we can get into the market and be competitive.
Hi, good morning. Hi. Thank you for the presentation. So my question is regarding the sensitivity of your technology, because there are already some solutions in the market already using real-time PCR to do it. So what is the sensitivity and how many people you are not going to be able to detect, since they could be with a lower infection? Do you see my point?
Yes, I understand. So to increase the sensitivity, we use magnetic concentration so that we extract as much as possible of the bacteria that is present. So that is the first part of the process. And then the second part is basically a real-time PCR done magnetically. So it's not done with fluorophores or light-based processes, which makes it more sensitive because it resists the matrix complexity. So it's not dependent, the light doesn't have to penetrate to it. But since we use PCR to validate it, that's where we can, the limit we can reach. So it's, for now, it's the same as PCR as much as we can confirm it with gold standard methods. 99% specificity, or I think that's the value.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have one more. Could you elaborate on the team?
Okay, there's no, yeah. So this work came from 4 PhD works. So I'm from electronics, another colleague from electronics, one colleague from biomedics, and one from physics, because we need all of this expertise. So this is the current team in terms of research and development. We are, all 4 of us are researchers in a research institute, aside from the startup. And then we have the director from the largest medical center in Lisbon as part of a consultant, and actually as part of this project in the EIT. We have a specialist in multi-resistant bacteria, also in this same center, she's also a researcher and a biologist, so not a medical doctor. And we also have in our team the medical doctor responsible for antibiotic stewardship in the north of Portugal. So that's the people we have, and we are also being followed, aside from EIT Health, by IC Tech, which is a non-for-profit entity that helps us in the managerial parts of things and finding investments and, well, doing all the things that we don't learn in school.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next pitch. DIAP, presented by Luka Banovic from Slovenia, MedTech. Welcome to the stage.
All right, good day. Thank you for having us. Today I'll be presenting the system that lets your doctors be more concerned with you than with your bladders. Right, what I'm talking about is a lower urinary tract dysfunction. It's a problem that is becoming a huge public health problem all around the world, with the stats of almost every other woman and every third man developing it at some point in their life. The LUTD doesn't have to do only with the trouble peeing, but it has a lot more serious significance in as a predictor of more severe diseases like prostate cancer or incontinence later on. The prevalence is increasing with age, which expands the problem in parallel with the aging population we are witnessing around the world. In 2018 alone, over 2 billion people were classified with having an LUTD. The current diagnostics and treatment is cumbersome. It's based on uroflowmetry and voiding diaries, which means that it's only done in a clinical environment, and it's intermittent, slow, and expensive. Over $40 billion is spent on urological medical devices every year. Alongside that, it has a really high psychological barrier to seek help. Only about 60% of patients will actually go and seek medical help under a LUTD. What if there was an ideal solution that was telemedical, meaning that we can do it from everywhere and access data from anywhere? It's traceable, it's personalized, affordable, private, and discreet. What if you could just build a personalized print of your uroflow, track the progress of urine, discharge, volume, and flow? What if you could record it and then analyze the data and monitor it, how it changes over time? With all this in mind, we've developed DIAP, which is the first smart wireless system on the market for early detection and efficient treatment of LUTD. DIAP is for the LUTD what blood pressure meter is for people with problems with blood pressure. We are a team of experts in business development, medical experts, lawyers, medical engineers, and technology experts that are making this happen. We're on the road to have our product compliant with all the necessary medical device directives. We have a patent pending technology in the EU and in the US and are expecting to launch by the end of this year. Why it's a good idea to help us? We are an interdisciplinary team of experts. Our pain is physical, not metaphorical. It is very well defined and is tackling a very high potential of insufficiency in the current approaches. Our second prototype version of our product is being finalized, and there's already some organizations and people that are trusting us with their money, if nothing else. So we will be closing our pre-seed round by the end of this year, and we welcome you to get in touch, and let's make this happen.
It's time for the questions, dear jury.
Hi, thank you. Is your product used on more than one patient, or is it customized and personal? And if it can be used on more than one patient, how do you think to sanitize it?
Right. So this is a system that is sold to hospitals and medical institutions. So the business model is business to business, and that is a device that they get on a recipe from a doctor. A patient gets it from a doctor with all the instructions and everything for daily sanitation. It doesn't need to be sterile. What it's looking at is just at the flow of urine coming into the socket, basically. So this is a multi-patient thing, like a monitor or like a heartbeat monitor or other device.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. Could you a bit elaborate on the business model? You mentioned it's business to business. What is your target market, and do you have any collaborations?
Yeah, so we're working. The DIAP is a spin-off from the people that work at a clinical center, local clinical center. So the network of making this happen locally is really strong, and we're working with doctors on preclinical studies and analysis. So the first part of the question was about the business model, right? Yeah. So we'll be selling this as through distributors to hospitals, but in these first phases we'll just go directly with the people we know, with the doctors we know that came to us with validation of this problem and with the problem statement in general, and are also there for us to validate it with us.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. I was wondering, what are you protecting with your patents?
The algorithm of correct detection of the uroflowmetry. So there's quite a few particularities, and then with the profile that you capture, you can use that profile for diagnostics of a particular disease. So you take the line that you acquire, and then you decide which kind of symptoms it's showing. And that's something we can do autonomously.
Are you also protecting the device itself?
The certain parts of design, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next on stage, GoCap, presented by Inês Gonçalves from Portugal, MedTech. Welcome to the stage. Be careful.
So imagine your kidneys fail, and you are one of the 3.2 million patients in the world that need to perform dialysis to survive. So most likely, you will use a catheter like this one inserted in your neck for the rest of your life, which gives you a 15% chance of dying from associated infection. So I've been approached by nephrologists and catheter components industry, urging us to find a solution that can prevent catheter infection with a long-term action, antibiotic-free and affordable. And so we did. We developed and patented a technology based on the irradiation of graphene oxide with near-infrared light that kills 99% of multi-resistant bacteria. So instead of standard plastic caps that just act as a physical barrier in catheters, we propose to use the GoCap, a graphene-like activated cap that is inserted in the catheter and kills bacteria that manage to enter the catheter during dialysis session. So GoCap has a clear competitive advantage over other products on the market since it's a reusable long-term solution at a reduced price. And so GoTech Antimicrobial will sell the GoCap to catheter selling companies, which will integrate it into their catheter kits and sell it to dialysis clinics and hospitals where patients perform dialysis. So the GoCap will enter the market of hemodialysis catheters in Europe, but quickly escalating worldwide, reaching a potential market of 58 million euros, and after that we will expand to other types of catheters. So we have secured around 1 million euros to manufacture GoCap in pilot scale, and also for efficacy and safety validation, including a small clinical study and intellectual property. And we are now addressing regulatory affairs, business, and market studies. So in the next 5 years, we want to raise 2.5 million euros to take the GoCap to the market. So more than saving or generating money, we want to reduce patient suffering, increasing their quality of life, decreasing hospitalization time, and also decreasing antibiotic resistance. So me and Patricia are co-inventors of this technology and co-founders of GoTech Antimicrobial, and supported by our team at I3S and our scientific, clinical, and business advisors, we have a dream. We want to release patients from the burden of catheter infection. Thank you.
Time for questions.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you. Please, can you tell me the efficiency of infection reduction of your product, please?
Yeah. So using this technology with graphene films, I said we did 99, but we already have 100% efficacy. And now already with our prototype that I have there, we already can reduce around 99% already, and we are also already working on trying to improve it so that we can have 99.9, which is the best numbers that we can have.
Thank you very much for the interesting presentation.
Thank you.
Could you elaborate a bit on the team? Are you full-time on the startup? Who do you need as skills on board?
Yeah. So I'm a researcher, so I have my own research group in a research institute. But Patricia, which is my co-founder of this technology, so this technology comes from her PhD that she did with me, and she's 100% dedicated to this startup. And so we have because we are very few at the moment, we have my research team at I3S helping us doing all the developments, and we have more in the antimicrobial part and biomaterials, and we have our collaborators at InnoStars that are working on the electronics and optics, and we have our clinicians that are supporting us at the Porto Central Hospital, and for now, that's it. Yeah.
Hi, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
So you said that your next goal is to fundraise 2.5 million. Can you elaborate in what the money will be allocated?
Yeah, so we want to hire 2 people full-time, so precisely so that we can have the know-how in our company and not always being dependent of other institutions to do it. So we want to have 1 person dedicated to R&D, because besides this, we also want to start looking at other devices using the same technology. So nephrologists always say, so now you have it for hemodialysis, please make it for peritoneal dialysis, it's so important. And it's very easy to adapt and change it to other types of catheters. So we also want to start that. But mostly we also want to use that money to do all the regulatory studies. So we already started, and we are filing already documents for the submission for the FDA, but we also want to do it in CE, in European Union for CE marking. And of course, we also want money to keep investing on the patent, because we have now already filed it for 9 different countries, but the costs will be annual, so we need to work on that. And sorry, and one last thing we want to do, so now we have money for the small clinical study, and we want to do a multi-center clinical study using also that money.
So my second question was, how are you going to scale? But I think you tapped a little bit on the subject.
Mm-hmm.
So can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, so in the beginning, you're saying in terms of products or in terms of reaching other places in
You
all
can
over
go
the
for
world?
both if you
Okay.
have time. Yeah.
Okay, so regarding the products, I already mentioned that we are now doing the Go caps for hemodialysis catheters. We then want to go to peritoneal dialysis catheters and then other types of catheters, so chemotherapy and other catheters that have like a liquid inside and that are remaining patients for long times, okay? They are more prone to infection. And then regarding expanding to other places, so we want to do that multi-center clinical study so that we can actually reach many places. And we think that by selling the caps to catheter selling companies, and so that they can incorporate it into their catheter kits, we can actually reach global market very fast, because there are very few players in the catheter components industry. So they're like major 6, I would say, players. So I think that's why we decided to sell it to catheter selling companies and not directly to hospitals and dialysis clinics.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, there, please. Thank you. Technical information about the stage. There's an edge there, so just be careful of it when you get on stage. Next to present is LymphMed AI, presented by Roxana Rusu, both from Romania, MedTech. Welcome to the stage.
Hello, everybody. I want to start with a challenge. I don't know if you see it. Sorry. Okay, so here you can see a standard ultrasound, a Doppler ultrasound, and an elastography. Now the question is, can you spot the lymph node? Well, if you're a doctor, I would expect so. But what about if it's metastatic or not? Well, that's a little bit more tricky. We can actually do it in a standardized manner. Now let me tell you a little bit more. So I'm Roxana from AIMed, and we've developed LymphMed AI, a non-invasive expert system for lymph node evaluation and monitoring. Why lymph node? Well, because most cancer develop lymph node metastases. And we have each year more than 20 million new cancer cases and more than 10 million deaths. And also, current radiologic methods are insufficiently accurate, which leads to limited treatment options and also high costs. Now here, you can see that ultrasound has a lot of advantages, and actually the image quality resolution is high. But the problem is that the diagnostic is very operator dependent. Now, what we've managed to do with our own unique algorithm is to put the diagnostic in a standardized manner. And you don't get irradiated at the same time. All those other methods are either irradiant or very expensive. So we focused all our energy into this. We are a multidisciplinary team with more than 20 years of experience in ultrasound. We tested our solution on 60 real cases. We've got very high accuracy, 99%, being fast, accessible, and most importantly, non-invasive. The market size is huge, even if we take a small amount of that. And the cool thing about it is that you do not need any infrastructure purchase for this product. So what we want to do is to put the lymph node evaluation in the pocket of every doctor. We want to offer a standalone version of the product, but also a pay-per-use version. We are developing currently the MVP we already started collaborating with clinics and private hospitals, both from public and private sectors, but we are still looking for partners and investors to help us perform medical certification and bring us closer to the market. So if you want to make a difference and be part of a real solution, join us and maybe be part of the first version of the medical tricorder from Star Trek. Thank you.
Hello. Thank
Hello.
you very much. Can you please better tell me how is the tool connected to the machine, and how is the final image created or elaborated?
Okay, so we can analyze, as you saw in the beginning, 3 types of ultrasound, basically standard ultrasound, Doppler ultrasound, or elastography. From all these ultrasound machines, you have live feed, okay? And you can save the images. Basically, in our tool, we need the image, which we analyze. We basically determine automatically the contour on the lymph node, and also based on our medical criteria, for which we developed algorithms to evaluate, we can put a diagnostic and say if that lymph node has characteristic of metastasis. Basically, if it changed a little bit with respect to a normal lymph node. And in this way, you can find faster the sentinel node and take it out at an earlier stage.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for the pitch. Could you tell me a bit about the competition?
Okay, so we are competing. So currently, CT, is used to evaluate lymph nodes and also MRIs. But what I can say is that they have a lower resolution for lymph nodes. The better resolution for lymph nodes is done with ultrasound. However, this is the whole problem because I don't know if you experienced it, but when you interpret ultrasound, it's very susceptible to the experience of the doctor. So this is exactly what we're trying to do, to have an expert system that will help any doctor with any level of experience, as long as it can perform ultrasound, to put the same diagnostics. So we are competing with CT, but CT is at least 4 times more expensive, or MRI also. And also CT is irradiant. You cannot have it, maybe you have to wait a few months in between, but you can have an ultrasound every day. So these are the main, I would say, radiological tools or imaging tools that we're competing with.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. So regarding the team, do you have someone with a business background?
Yes, so actually through this program we managed to start a collaboration with a business partner that will basically help us now to develop a market strategy, entry, and all the business development plans.
Okay. My second question is, what is, at this point, your long-term strategy?
So currently, I would say that by the end of the year, we will have the MVP ready in a cloud-based version. And our long-term strategy is to get as much partners as possible, medical partners or also business partners, to perform certification, because this is the next step, obvious step, in order to be able to market the product. And the certification takes time, a little bit of time. So if you have more clinical partners, then we might reach it faster. We already have an evaluation for certification for an expert company that basically classifies our product around class 2A, 2B, but mostly class 2B. So our long-term strategy is to get funding to be able to obtain medical certification, and maybe with the medical partners also maybe they could be our first paying customers after certification. So this is the whole idea.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next to present is N-protein by Ricardo Martins de Carvalho from Portugal, Biotech. Welcome to the stage.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'll start by saying that I'm an electrical engineer, so I'm not the best person to speak about biology or physiological processes. However, I've decided to invest in this company N-protein because I was convinced that together we can unleash the true power of legume seeds. Yes, legume seeds. You know, these small things as this chickpea that I'm holding in my hand are truly one of nature's wonders. First, they have high protein content, with up to 30% of their mass being proteins. And this takes us directly to one of the major challenges humanity will face in the coming years. That is how to feed its growing population in a sustainable way. Sorting this out and becoming an alternative to meat and dairy products will simply open the door to huge market opportunity. However, there are key aspects that need to be addressed. First, these proteins should not have taste, nor color, nor odor. Guess what? N-protein's proprietary processes are able to do so. Yet there's another challenge to be overcome. That is the allergenic character of these proteins. And again, the solution lies inside this small wonder. You know, when the plants start germinating, storage seed proteins initiate a process where they chop themselves and also all other proteins inside the seed, so that smaller chunks of amino acids are released in order to feed the growing plant. And guess what? N-protein is able to replicate this. In fact, N-protein's research team that is led by Professor Ricardo Ferreira, who has been studying these matters for more than 30 years, is so amazed with this discovery that he truly believes that this sets us apart from our competitors. And in fact, when we compare ourselves with our competitors, we truly believe, as far as we know, that they don't have this final stage that we call the breakdown. Moreover, they use chemical solvents in order to solubilize the proteins. Well, we don't. Neither do these guys there, right? So, having the ability to chop down the proteins allow us to postulate the hypothesis that we will be able to reduce their allergenic character without compromising their nutritional value. So we're going to conduct a clinical trial in order to test this. And if our hypothesis comes to be validated, well, the next step is to go to the market with the help of a strategic industrial partner. Thank you very much.
Thank you. What does a patent protect in your product?
Yeah, the process. Patents do not only protect, chemical formulas, ingredients, but also processes. So in our case, we already submitted the patent for the first part of the process, which is to remove taste, color, and odor from legume seeds. As far for the second part, which is to remove the allergenic character, which is the chop down, we are still discussing that internally because the process is quite simple. So we are discussing if it makes sense to, with our patent office, if it makes sense to protect or rather go on a trade secret strategy. Okay, so it's not, we haven't made that choice yet.
Could you talk a bit about the volumes?
The volumes? Okay. So the market, it's growing double digit, and it's actually quite big. Okay, so far I think that the market by 2021 reached a whopping $13 billion, and it's growing double digit. They are mainly focused in soybeans and pea. And most of it still goes to animal feed, okay? Our idea is that if we have this value-added service in the end, the market will simply, grow even faster.
Thank you. And could you also tell me from how much seeds, how much could you produce?
The seed protein content goes up to 30%. So we want to extract the full amount of protein, isolate it, and then chop it down. If we want to remove the allergenic character, okay? So this is what we're going to test as far as we can to see if it works or not, okay? So we're going to conduct that clinical trial, and we want to launch it until the end of the year, okay? But so far, the experiences in the lab run really well. So it's amazing because it disappears, okay, in the electrophoresis gel.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for your presentation. So who is going to be your customers?
Okay. N Protein believes that it's not in our DNA to have factories and to be in the market with such a play. So we're going to try to find the right industrial partner to take this to the market. Okay, so our idea is to license IP, and then they will follow that strategy. If it's business to business, their approach, or business to consumer, I mean, we are open to whatever. We don't have a choice there.
Okay, thank you. And what are the amount of money that you are predicting that you are going to need?
Okay, at this moment, we want to leverage the capital increase that I'm subscribing with an instrument from Banco de Fomento, which is something like an investment bank in Portugal, so that for each euro that I invest, they will put more than the double, okay? And it's like we have no liabilities on this, and we can rebuy their shares up to 7 years with 3% interest rate, which is quite good. So the idea is that if we are able to finalize this, I think that we will be with 650,000 euros, and that will allow us to survive for 2 years without cash income. So it's good, okay? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Next on stage, Diaprapi, presented by Theodosios Theodosiou from Greece, Biotech. Welcome to the stage.
Hi. Let's imagine a world where scientific research and innovation in the field of health is transformed to products that can benefit society and patients, people, with the use of artificial intelligence. That's exactly what we do at AB Cured. And I'm here to present you our lead product, El Pancreas. And of course, you guessed it right, it's about pancreas and diabetes. And you say, why diabetes? 500 million people suffer from it, and another 500 million are pre-diabetes. And one person dies from complication of diabetes every 5 seconds. That's a pandemic. So we have low therapeutic success, low precision in diagnosis, and low prevention. Why? Because we mainly focus on the outcome of diabetes, which is high glucose in blood, and not one of the main reasons, which is pancreatic decline. El Pancreas does exactly that. So we can offer quality life years for patients and reduce healthcare costs. So El Pancreas is the first AI-powered diagnostic tool in diabetes. It has the highest ever reported performance in discriminating diabetes from non-diabetes. And it is based on 3 key innovative elements. That is liquid biopsy, artificial intelligence, and a biomarker assay. It's currently LTRL 526, and we have filed for a global patent. And I must note that currently there is no other medical alternative. So what is exactly El Pancreas? El Pancreas is a blood test. You do it not at your home, but in a diagnostic lab. Then they run a PCR test, and the outcome of that is used in a smart application that produces a score. And this score signifies pancreatic decline. So thus it can be used as a complement to the routine diagnosis of diabetes and for different indications of diabetes. With El Pancreas, we unlock a market of over 30 billion euros per year, and we estimated an annual turnover of more than 400 million euros. AB Cured is a spin-off of Democritus University of Thrace at Greece. We are 4 co-founders complementing each other in different fields like molecular biology, pharmacology, public health, and in bioinformatics, which is my expertise. And of course, we have key partners and the great support from our university. We seek 1 million euros for the next months to transform El Pancreas to get it to TRL 8, and fingers crossed, and whatever else you have for good luck, we are almost there. So thank you very much, and I would gladly answer your questions. Thank you. That's a great trap. I mean, whoever thought
Yes.
it.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you. Can your product be used also as a preventive tool more than a diagnostic one?
Well, actually, we think one of the best markets is for pre-diabetes, so you can prevent exactly to get to the diabetes stage. So as a screening method.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this enthusiastic presentation.
Thank you.
I saw that the cost per test, it's like €5, and you wish to sell it for €200.
Yeah, 150, 200 euros average, depending on the market. For example, in the United States, which is the biggest market for this kind of diagnostics, the $200 euros is a very good price. But for other countries like India, for example, it's not. It would be much lower.
And what would be your first target market?
The first target market is at Greece. We will start from Greece because we have a good networking there, and we have developed that also in cooperation with diagnostics labs. So we have already established a network there that we can move on and try it out in the real environment. Thank you.
Hi, thank you. Going along with the question from my colleague, after Greece, are you going to enter other countries in Europe, or are you aiming directly to outside Europe?
Outside Europe, the United States. Okay. Yes, that's the next market.
Okay, so my second question is also, are you thinking about including someone from a business background in your team?
Definitely, yes, yes. We need that, and in the talks that we are right now with the private investor, he will also help us on that. He is very good at business, the business part, let's say.
Okay. I don't know.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Next on stage, Orga Cancer, presented by Rodrigo Osorio de Valdoleiras Pereira de Silva from Portugal, Biotech. Welcome to the stage.
So, hi everyone, can I start it? Yeah, so hi everyone, thank you so much for being here. I would like to present the Next Cancer System. That is a project that's combined 3 students from medical background, very friendship between us, and we like to solve a problem that we saw in our clinical practice, that is the conventional treatments for patients, it's actually not suitable for them, and most of these treatments do not leave the best ones from each patient. And the absence of this problem started by the accuracy of preclinical models from pharmaceutical companies that are actually starting to develop some compounds from the specific treatments that related to high failure of cancer therapeutics in clinical trials. And this will lead to increasing healthcare costs by limiting the availability of the effective treatments, and actually these treatments cannot be adjustable for each patient. That will lead, for example, the conventional treatments, we have a lot of them that are not specific for a specific patient, where we want to start developing a specific characterization of genetic profiling and certification of this data, where we combine with our solution and specify each treatment for the conventional the treatments that is in the market, or even to starting to develop new ones. So as we see here, our mission is to elevate the cancer through precise models and ensuring the effective treatments reach to the clinic, and it's tailored for each patient. So our solution, basically, it's a microchip where we started to put biopsy from the patient and starting to use several therapeutic treatments that exist in the market at this moment and into the hospital, and start to analyze each of them to personalize the treatments for each patient. So our solution starts by the predicting by machine learning model, where we can select from the conventional treatments what is the best from the patient, adjust these treatments by personalizing from each patient, and also to analyze by bioinformatics the data that we collect from the best outcome of these specific targets, and also to collaborate with machine learning and to the conventional imaging treatments in order to characterize even better specific cancers from specific patient. So, and also the potential growth from future perspectives of this solution, it's to work with in the initial part with pharmaceutical companies, where we can reduce the time of new therapeutic compounds, and also from new solution for cancer therapies. So our market opportunity, we want to start in Portugal, where we already collaborate with 2 hospitals and 1 pharmaceutical company, and also to spread from target markets in Europe in a big, large market. So we want to have offer free parts, service, products, and another service for insurance company. And this team that will lead this project is three medical doctors, João, me, and Luisa, and our advice for Maria Cristina Ribeiro. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you. How many cancer types are you predicting to?
Yeah. At this moment, 3: breast, bone, and hepatic liver, hepatocancer liver.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the dynamic presentation. Could you elaborate on the timeline? So where you are right now, what is the big step in front of you, and how much would you need?
So at this moment, we already developed and optimized the microchip that we're starting, and we actually collaborating with hospitals in order to receive these biopsies. And from this biopsy, we are trying to take the compounds, the therapeutic chemotherapy and so on, and other immunotherapies to put in this microchip, and we already start to build a library. And from this library, we discovered 2 compounds that is very potential in order to use from two malignant cancer from breast and hepatic cancer. So at this moment, we want to spread our data and to spread our this clinical validation in 2 years. And of course, in order to make an effort and to a statement in the market, we want to validate these 2 compounds that we discovered at this moment, and to spread their viability in our process in collaboration with the pharma that are actually starting to develop them. So we are trying to collaborate at this moment with industry and to spread our analytic response of this treatment.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. So do you have a strategy for IP protection?
Yeah, so we want to start at this moment in trade secret, because this is a process that we develop, microchips that we can patent on them, but we don't have at this moment money to go to 20 years from now. And if we patent now, and if the company will not, in the end result of the company will be not good, it will not be interesting for us to spend this money. So we want to, at this moment, to spread our analytic results, and then in 2 years to patent. At this moment, it is in blockchain and trade secret, and then to patent the compound in collaboration, of course, with industrial partners, and share the IP in this case.
And will you include someone with a business background in your team?
Yeah, sure.
Like in a short term?
Yeah, not at this moment in short, because we are actually in research and development at this moment. But when we start to pre-agreement certification with hospitals, for example, or insurance companies or industry, we want, of course, to have a business person to help us in the arrangement of the market agreement and the entry market. But not at this moment, because this kind of project takes a lot of money, and we are focused on just research and development, and of course to protect the solution.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Yes, we have time.
Thank you. Could you tell us a bit about the team? Who is full-time on the team?
Yes.
Who's part-time?
So at this moment, we are not one person in full time. We basically are not more a medical student, but now medical doctors. We just took our background of our PhD background, me in tissue engineering, João in artificial intelligence, Luis in cancer, and Christine is a professor that helps us in biomedical engineering to build everything. So at this moment, we are not 100% each of us. We are just trying to figure it out in the end how, if these components work, for sure we will be 100%. But at this moment, we are just trying to figure it out if these compounds that we discover can be suitable for treatment, for cancer treatment, and if it is suitable for, if the industry is really interested on it, and if it is interested, we'll be 100%. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Next on stage, PRISM, presented by Sotirios Liliopoulos from Greece, Digital Health. The stage is yours.
Hello everyone, I'm Sotiris, proud co-founder and CTO of PRISM by Estis Medical. Imagine a world where sepsis, the leading cause of mortality among surgical patients, can be detected and treated before it's too late. Post-surgery, 47 million people are at risk of sepsis. 11 million of these people suffer organ failure and sadly death. This tragedy translates to a massive 67 billion euros of additional healthcare costs every year. So the key here is to detect early and act fast. We introduce PRISM, a revolution in medical technology. PRISM compiles data from wearables and electronic records, harnesses the power of AI for real-time event predictions, and alert clinicians. The result, targeted, immediate, and personalized interventions. Our solution integrates data from wrist wearable devices and electronic health records. This allows us to create a digital profile of the patient, enabling our AI to detect sepsis at its early stages. By catching sepsis early in surgical wards, we reduce septic events by 27%, length of stay by 9%, and in-hospital mortality by 58%. The bottom line, a savings of 47% in additional healthcare costs every year. Most of our competitors offer their solution in critical care settings like ICUs, where unfortunately it's too late for the patients. Others respond reactively after the onset of the symptoms. PRISM acts as the source in a proactive and personalized way. We offer our solution to hospitals on a three-tier subscription model, and we target the 10 billion rapidly increasing European healthcare analytics market. So far, we have successfully established the national clinical synergies for pilot studies, business collaboration, and of course, business collaboration, and of course, have secured 2 European grants. Our driving force, a stellar international team with expertise in healthcare analytics, AI, and medicine, we drive our mission with passion. So far, we need about 950,000 euros to launch PRISM Sky High and reshape patient care forever. Every moment counts in acute care. So join us and let's save lives together. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you very much. Could you please explain more in detail how your product can monitor sepsis.
Yeah, sure. So we actually use wearable devices attached to the patient after a patient has done a surgical operation, so in the surgical ward, let's say. So these wearables collect some vital signs like temperature, heart rate, blood pressure, and these data are combined with lab results or some other, let's say, data like demographics coming from the electronic health records. And all these data are fed to our AI algorithms in order to predict sepsis onset. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Could you elaborate on the AI algorithm itself, whether it's something that your team will put together and own the data set, or it's something that you will build your solution on an existing?
Yeah, actually, yeah, of course, we are building our own AI models. We are actually running now a collection, let's say, study from one of the hospitals that we are in collaboration to collect our own data. And of course, we are using also some open source data available for this purpose.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. Regarding the IP, what is your strategy? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, of course, we are going to patent the algorithms and all these algorithms and our solution. But yeah, for now, we need money to do it, so we actually postpone it until the funding.
And talking about money, so what is your prediction of how much you are going to need in the next 2 years, for example?
In the next 2 years, actually, for the next 12 months, we need about €1 million, 950,000 euros. And this money will be able to actually reach until clinical trials. So after this, we need to actually seek more money to perform clinical trials and actually get the CE marking certification and FDA.
Can I just ask one?
Sure.
And how are you going to raise that money? It will be on grants, fundraising?
I think it's both. Grants is always a good solution, equity free, but I think we need also money from either angel investors or VCs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Question? Yeah.
I'd like to ask my usual question about the team. And additionally also, is it already a registered startup or it's just...
Yeah, it's a registered startup. Exactly.
And the team a bit, could you elaborate on your skills?
Of course, yeah. Our background is the core team, actually. The founders are in electrical and computer engineering with focus on biomedical engineering. Both myself, I hold a master, the other two guys, PhD degrees. We are actually full-time. We also have 2 clinicians part-time helping us in the clinical part. And of course, our partners like the hospital and of course the Technical University of Crete and the University of Thessaly that help us in both the technical and the clinical aspects of this project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on stage, digital depression biomarker presented by Radu Galan from Romania, Digital Health. Welcome to the stage.
Buongiorno. Fourth biggest disability cause worldwide. Depression is a debilitating disease. 64% of all people are at risk. Not to mention that 7% of Europeans are affected by this directly. And this doesn't even take into account the COVID pandemic and the entire recent military conflicts nearby. 28 months. That's how long it takes for the entire journey. And it actually begins with non-specific symptoms for an entire year. After that, you're going to visit a doctor for about 20 minutes, and you're going to receive a standardized treatment, which will not actually take into account your depression subtype, meaning you will have to return for a clinical assessment, coming back to the doctor, which can prolong the process to up to 4 months. After that, being technically better, in the following year, you have a 50% chance of relapse, meaning 1 out of every 2 people will have to come back and take the whole process from the beginning. It's quite horrible. However, there is valuable untapped insight available. It is well documented in the literature that there's a strong correlation between the REM sleeping stage and depression. More specifically, depressed people will have longer REM sleeping periods. And actually, the medication will work as a REM suppressor. This is valuable but hard to digest data. Hard for a doctor. However, if you have a phone and a watch, you might be able to connect with your doctor and share your sleep information and prediction analysis with your doctor in order to receive specialized treatment, which will give relapse prevention, first of all, treatment optimization, and early detection, which is very important. This will all use on-cloud machine learning algorithms, complex data analysis using prediction in order to optimize and personalize the entire treatment. Our motto, act fast, treat early, and give back healthy time. 12 months of extra quality time to the patient. But how can we do this? More precisely, the doctor will have to set up the patient, and within the first week, we will be able to tell if the medication works or not. You will not be needed to come to the doctor again. After that, the medication can be optimized, and relapse can be predicted within 1 to 2 months instead of 12. This is the Healthcare 3.0 model about the individual and the patient. We want to replace this 28-month struggle with a more optimized and personal experience. Our model will be a B2B where the doctor can actually leverage this tool to stand out, but we want to empower the patient as well to take control of his own mental well-being. Our team of specialized and diverse people, from this slide it appears I'm missing, a bit of an outdated version, but okay. I was Radu Galan. I'm in charge of the AI component of this project. Thank you.
Hello, thank you. What are the parameters that your tool is able to monitor in a patient?
Sensory speaking, like the bioindication. So the watch can sense, first of all, motion, heartbeat, and in some of the latest generation, temperature, which allows us to sync with the latest research in the field in order to calibrate our models to run on the same performance as what a couple of decades ago was done in a lab where you'll be covered with sensors. And this is quite an ideal opportunity because we all have these portable devices with a lot of sensors on.
Thank you.
Will your solution be compatible with normal smartwatches, or do you provide your own?
We will be integrating with Apple first and foremost, because it's the most widely available and ideal starting market. However, in the future, we will extend to the other big companies. We will not launch our own hardware device.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. So, who is your competition?
That's a good question. The competition is complicated. There's medical devices that cost a lot, which are in a completely different league. There's the specialized therapeutics that will provide a higher-end service, but this intends to cover the gap and provide accessibility to the missing part of the population that will not receive such a quality treatment.
Okay. How easy would be to integrate your technology in programs that already do the scan for the sleeping? So there are already programs that
You
go
refer to the
through.
algorithms themselves or an entire service altogether, like Apple?
It can be both, because there is already programs that keep up with your sleep.
Yes, yes.
How
This
easy
is-
it will be to integrate or to do a partnership? What will be more viable for your future business model?
Right. So integration is already a big component since we are using someone else's hardware, but the specific analysis of the sleep is going to be used directly from the Apple SDK, which are provided after sleep. So if the user provides access, we will be able to compare our results and improve them or use them directly. We are already using some of it during the sleep session. However, we can also integrate open source algorithms. The industry, the whole sleep analysis domain is quite old, has a few decades now, and there's a lot of material, a lot of studies. We've done studies of our own, and it's quite promising in what we can integrate and how we collaborate.
And how are you going to protect your part of the technology?
Since there was a question already about intellectual property, since we don't have a hardware device, I suppose, not my specialty, but I suppose we will not be able to patent that. But we will protect it probably by scaling and using the initial network that we have, which is relatively big, at least in our home country. And yeah, we'll have to think about that as well.
Could you explain a bit more about the deal? So who will pay how much for your solution?
So, no back. But right, the initial plan is to go B2B. The doctor will come to us. Actually, we will probably get in touch with each other. We already have a network ongoing, and they will pay a subscription to basically improve their service. And we will provide all the data with easy access from the patient directly. After this, we also think about, as I said, extending to customer-based, meaning allowing any user to sign up on the platform and get more inputs, more data, medically specialized about his sleep.
Thank you. Unfortunately, we ran out of time this time. Thank you very much.
Grazie.
Thank you. And that concludes the pitch competition. Thank you very much for all the pitches. Round of applause. Also, thank you very much to our jury members and their questions. A round of applause, please. And for the audience as well, a round of applause, both here and both online. Thank you very much. The winners will be announced tomorrow at the awards ceremony at 6:15. And remember to vote, but also remember that you can only vote once. So this has to be carefully considered. Voting opens at noon and will be open till 6 p.m. tomorrow. What's to come, you might wonder? For those of you who follow us online, please join us tomorrow at 10:30 for the InnoStars Awards final pitch competition. Those of you who are physically here, please also join us tomorrow at 10:30. But those of you physically here, you can also participate in 2 sessions at the Academia building. One will be for EIT Health Risk Hubs only, and the other one will be for everybody, and that's the InnoStars Partners session. Be sure to check them out. There will also be the iDays event opening ceremony, as mentioned in the morning. It will be here at 2:30 p.m. And at 6 p.m., there will be a networking event at Food Station Viale Decumano 39, which is here within Mind, so it's not far from here. Thank you for being here with us. Enjoy your break and see you at the next session.